Intimacy. After 60. Curious facts you might not know about men. Male psychology. There's a common belief that men are easy to read. But when it comes to intimacy, male psychology shifts in ways almost no one ever speaks about. Especially after 60. Men feel more than they show. They remember more than they say. And when it comes to emotional connection, truly understanding a man means looking beneath the surface, into the quiet places where his behavior is shaped not by words, but by something far deeper. The male heart isn't simple. It's a quiet ocean, calm on the surface, yet full of unseen depth. Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's Vernon again. In today's video, I want to walk you through 7 curious facts about men, truths rooted in psychology, biology, and the wisdom that only time reveals. These are insights about how men think, how men love, and what men secretly want but rarely express. Before we dive in, if you're here because you want deeper insight into attraction psychology, emotional connection, and the hidden truths of relationships after 60, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. This community is rooted in real wisdom, not shallow advice. Let's begin with a truth most women never expect, one that quietly reshapes everything we think we know about men. Has shown emotional sensitivity in men. Men are far more emotionally tuned than they appear. They're raised to be strong and unmoved, but the truth is simple. They feel deeply. They just never learned how to say it. Men operate with lower baseline levels of oxytocin, the bonding hormone. So when intimacy happens, when real emotional connection occurs, the shift inside a man is profound. It hits harder. It stays longer. It changes him in ways he may not even recognize himself. But because men aren't raised to name their emotions, those feelings get stuck inside. They linger. They echo. A single moment of tenderness can replay in a man's mind for years. I think of my friend Farah, someone I've known for decades through our book club. She once told me she thought her husband was emotionally distant. But one evening, after a quiet conversation where she simply held his hand and listened without trying to fix anything, he looked at her and said, "I've been carrying that weight alone for so long." She realized then, he wasn't distant. He was waiting to be seen. Men don't need you to solve them. They need you to recognize that behind the calm exterior, there's a man who feels everything. He just doesn't know how to say it. The deepest waters make the least noise, as the poet Rumi said. And the same is true for masculine energy in relationships. Have you ever noticed a man in your life holding back emotions, not because he didn't feel them, but because he didn't know how to release them? Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. Now, men aren't just emotional. They're also far more responsive to a woman's presence than most people realize. 2. Men absorb women's biochemical signals. A woman's presence changes a man's nervous system. When a woman is calm, grounded, emotionally open, her energy sends signals that the man's body registers as safety. His cortisol drops. His breathing slows. His nervous system, often wound tight from decades of holding it together, finally has permission to soften. This isn't metaphor. It's relationship psychology meeting biology. Every touch, every glance, every moment of emotional safety she offers is a message his body receives. You can rest here. You are safe. And for men over 60, who've spent a lifetime in fight or flight mode, providing, protecting, performing, that signal is more powerful than almost anything else. It's why men get attached not just to what a woman says, but to how she makes him feel in her presence. It's subconscious male behavior, wired into his system long before conscious thought kicks in. I've seen men visibly relax when a woman they trust simply sits beside them. No words, no agenda, just presence. That's emotional bonding at its purest. We are shaped by those who love us, philosopher Johann Wolfgang von Goethe once observed. And for men, that shaping happens not just in the mind, but in the body. Women hold more power in relationships than they realize, not through control, but through the emotional safety they create. When a man feels safe in a woman's presence, something inside him begins to shift quietly, almost imperceptibly. #3 Energy exchange, strong intimacy. What happens when men receive intimate energy from a woman? This is delicate territory, but it's important especially when we talk about male desire patterns and what men secretly want in relationships after 60. Intimacy isn't just physical. It's an energy exchange. When a man is deeply intimate with a woman, when he receives not just her body, but her trust, her openness, her full presence, something shifts inside him. His nervous system calms, his defenses lower. The world, for a moment, becomes quiet. This isn't about performance. It's about belonging. In those moments, a woman's energy, her willingness to be vulnerable, to be present, to offer herself fully, acts as a signal to his body. You are safe. You are accepted. You are home. This exchange reduces stress hormones, increases bonding chemicals, and creates what researchers call co-regulation, where two nervous systems sync and soothe each other. Men crave to be received, not just desired. They want to know that their presence matters, that their intimacy is valued, that they are not just performing, but truly connecting. And when a man feels that, when he feels received in the deepest sense, it changes how he shows up. He becomes softer, more open, more willing to be emotionally vulnerable. Carl Jung once wrote, "Intimacy is not purely physical. It is the act of connecting with someone so deeply that you feel you can see into their soul." That's what men are searching for after 60, not just attraction, psychology, or surface-level connection. They want to be truly seen. If this resonates with you, save this video. You'll want to come back to these truths. Connection, for a man, always reaches a place the eyes can't see, and the body alone can't explain. #4 Men need emotional safety. Older men are taught to be strong, but that very teaching makes them lonely. From boyhood, men are told, don't cry, don't ask for help, don't show weakness. So by the time they reach 60, many men have spent a lifetime hiding their emotional needs, even from themselves. But those needs don't disappear, they deepen. What men want after 60 isn't complexity, it's simplicity wrapped in safety. They want a partner who sees their fears, their doubts, their quiet struggles, and doesn't turn away. They want to be able to say, I don't have it all figured out, without being judged. They want permission to not always be the strong one. This is what emotional connection with men truly looks like. Creating space where he doesn't have to perform, where he can be imperfect, where he can simply be. And when a woman offers that space, she becomes more than a partner. She becomes a refuge. The greatest gift you can give someone is a safe place to fall, poet Maya Angelou said. And for men, that gift is rarer than most realize. And it's often in moments of hardship that a man's true way of connecting quietly comes to light. #5 Men release stress through intimacy. This is one of the key differences in male psychology. While women process emotions by talking, men process emotions through closeness. It's not that men don't want to talk. It's that words don't always reach the place where the stress lives. But touch does, presence does, intimacy does. When a man is stressed, his nervous system is flooded with cortisol, adrenaline, fight or flight chemicals. Talking doesn't turn that off. But intimacy, the kind rooted in trust and emotional safety, regulates his nervous system in ways nothing else can. This is why men in relationships over 60 often seek closeness when they're overwhelmed. It's not avoidance, it's regulation. It's how men think about connection. I need to feel her near me, to feel grounded again. Touch is the first language we learn. Psychologist Virginia Satir once said, and for many, it remains the most honest. My younger brother, Harold, once shared something with me during a particularly difficult season of his life. He said, I didn't need her to say anything. I just needed her to stay close. When she touched my back, I finally felt like I could breathe again. That's not weakness. That's emotional bonding in its truest form. Men aren't broken for needing closeness. They're human. For men, intimacy is not escape. It's return. A return to safety, to peace, to presence. And when a couple has walked through enough seasons together, their connection takes on a life of its own. #6. How two bodies learn each other. Over time, the longer you're together, the more your bodies sync. Your nervous systems begin to recognize each other as safe. Your stress responses soften. Your rhythms align. It's not magic, it's biology, shaped by trust. Researchers call it physiological synchrony, but those of us who've lived it call it something else. Home. When you've been with someone for decades, their presence alone can calm you. Their voice can ground you. Their touch can reset your entire nervous system because your body has learned over years that this person is safety. This is why emotional connection after 60 is so profound. You're not just attracted to each other anymore. You reattuned to each other. And that attunement is what makes intimacy at this age different, deeper, more peaceful. You stop performing. You stop pretending. You stop needing to impress. You simply show up as you are and trust that the other person will meet you there. And after 60, that's exactly what happens. You see each other fully, and you stay anyway. If you've experienced this kind of connection, share this video with someone who'll understand. And when two people reach that level of attunement, intimacy itself begins to take on a different shape. #7. Why intimacy gets stronger after 60. After 60, intimacy gets better, not worse. The pressure is gone. The performance anxiety is gone. The need to prove yourself is gone. What's left is presence, honesty, peace. When you're younger, intimacy is often driven by urgency, comparison, expectation. You're trying to impress. You're trying to measure up. You're trying to be someone. But after 60, something shifts. You stop trying. You start being. You're no longer performing for approval. You're connecting because you want to, because it feels good, because it's real. And that's when intimacy becomes sacred. A few years ago, over coffee, my close friend Patrick, a man I trust with my whole heart, told me something he'd never said out loud before. He said, intimacy at 68 feels more peaceful than it ever did at 30. Back then, I was always worried about how I was doing. Now, I'm just there, and that's enough. That's the gift of age. You stop performing, you start connecting, and the connection is so much richer for it. After 60, intimacy isn't about perfection. It's about presence. It's not about impressing. It's about belonging. It's not about what you do. It's about who you are. In the words of the actress Audrey Hepburn, the best thing to hold on to in life is each other. And after 60, that's exactly what intimacy becomes. A deep, unshakable hold on each other, not out of need, but out of choice. Intimacy after 60 isn't about performance, it's about presence. If you've watched this far, you're someone who understands that male psychology is not simple. You know that understanding men requires more than surface-level advice. You're willing to look deeper into the emotional needs of men, into how men love, into what men secretly want but rarely express. And now you know 7 truths that most people never discover. That men feel deeply, bond deeply, and need emotional safety just as much as physical connection. Many believe men are simple, but the truth is, the male heart is a quiet ocean, calm on the surface, but full of unseen depth. And after 60, that aliveness doesn't fade, it deepens. It becomes something truer, quieter, and infinitely more beautiful. Do you believe that men after 60 are capable of deeper emotional connection than they were in their youth? If your answer is yes, drop a yes in the comments below. If this video gave you a new perspective on masculine energy and relationships, hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel for more wisdom on love, intimacy, and connection after 60. And I'm Vernon. Thanks for watching till now, and see you in the next video.